Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Understanding the mind of a narcissist is akin to unraveling a multifaceted tapestry. It requires a deep dive into the intricacies of human psychology, and while their behavior may be perplexing, delving into the layers of their mind allows us to see the world through their eyes, even if just for a moment. As we navigate this intricate terrain, we gain insight not only into their minds, but also a broader understanding of the depths and complexities of the human psyche. With that said, let us embark on a journey to uncover the inner workings of a narcissist's mind, aiming to shed light on the psychological mechanisms that drive their behavior. So just for fun, today let's pretend we want to see things from a narcissist's point of view. So let's get started. Within the narcissist's psyche, a grandiose narrative takes root. They construct an elaborate fantasy where they are exceptional, unique, and deserving of special treatment. This fabricated self-image acts as a shield against the harsh realities of life, allowing them to maintain a distorted self-perception. And if their grandiosity is challenged, they often react with hostility and aggression, defending their self-image at any cost. However, beneath the layers of arrogance and self-assuredness lies an intense fear of vulnerability. Narcissists shy away from situations that could expose their weaknesses or imperfections. This fear often hinders personal growth, preventing them from forming authentic connections and engaging in genuine self-reflection. Despite that, they cling to their inflated self-image, avoiding the realities of their actions. Within the narcissist's mind, grandiosity and fragility coexist in an intricate dance. This grandiosity serves as a coping mechanism, a way to mask their deep-seated feelings of inadequacy. They construct a fantasy world where they are omnipotent, unique, and beyond reproach, and this illusion shrouds their fragility, creating a paradox that defines their existence. Despite the outward show of arrogance and self-assuredness, the truth is, narcissists constantly feel inadequate in their own eyes. They never believe they are sufficiently wealthy, attractive, popular, talented, or successful. Unlike individuals without this condition, who usually understand that there is more to life than superficial achievements and material wealth, narcissists aren't able to realize this. Narcissists are the perpetual victims. They constantly feel like they are getting played, being cheated, being deprived, or not getting their fair shot. Of course, we know that it's impossible for anyone to become the master of the universe, but being perfect, desirable, and successful is legitimately the only thing that narcissists were taught to value, when what they really needed to be taught was that they were valuable and valid, just as they were. Narcissists never had the opportunity to learn boundaries, to moderate and validate their own emotions, or to even see themselves as a real person. In narcissistic individuals, the preponderance of their critical inner voices is directed at others, and to putting others down, just to make them feel better about themselves. If a coworker gets a promotion, they may think, he or she is such a phony. I could do twice the job that he or she does. Or they may think, it isn't fair, I deserved that more than they did. If they feel interested in dating someone, they may hear voices like, why is he even interested in anyone else? I am so much prettier than she is. Or he should choose me. I am clearly the best choice. In addition to comparison voices, narcissists may simply have thoughts about needing to be special or wanting extra attention or praise. While it's often debated whether these types of thought processes arise from a deeper sense of insecurity or whether they emerge from an inherently inflated sense of self. It's also interesting to examine why a narcissist needs to listen to these voices. What's at stake if they were to ignore them, and what feelings might arise? Studies show that individuals who have struggled with narcissism and have been willing to explore this question respond with a similar answer. Narcissists say that if they don't feel special, they don't feel okay. They conform to a more black and white notion that if they aren't great, they aren't anything. For them, it's not enough to be like everyone else. Studies show that this all-or-nothing viewpoint is an indication that at some core developmental level, their very sense of self is fragmented. At some point, they learn that it's not okay to just be who they are. Something distorted their self-perception to make them feel superior, and yet, for that superiority to be so easily threatened. Of course, as aforementioned, you'll never hear a narcissist say a negative thing about themselves out loud, but inside them, this phrase is on repeat. Being a narcissist is incredibly lonely. Those of us who enjoy solitude enjoy it because we can appreciate our own company, we can introspect, we can philosophize, we can dream, and we can be. A narcissist cannot be, because they have nothing to be with. This is due to the lack of emotional depth and the ability to self-validate, which they were prevented from developing in their childhood. The narcissist who enjoys hobbies is extremely rare, and if they do have hobbies, they are typically connected to amassing their empire, improving their appearance, or doing something that other people will eventually see and hopefully praise. This is all to make up for the fact that narcissists don't believe that anyone likes them, which is because they don't like themselves or somehow know themselves. This is the unfortunate byproduct of emotional estrangement from the self. Individuals who can't connect to themselves emotionally can't connect to others, and as a result, the narcissist's friendships often capsize and end prematurely, and their familial relationships are strained and transactional. Individuals who display symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder were taught as children that they were unworthy, that their emotions were worthless, and only their shell or outer appearance was of value, and so it is no surprise that they harbor the same unconscious beliefs in adulthood. One of the defining features of individuals who display symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder is their obsession with the thoughts of others. Narcissists are ruminators, and will spend much of their free time analyzing and replaying conversations, events, and situations in their mind. This is rather tragic. Since narcissists have no idea how to interpret their own emotions, they rely on what was said and done as the explicit truth. This causes narcissists to frequently rehash the past, bring up old conversations, and reference what those without the disorder would consider old and irrelevant information. But for the narcissist, this is critical information. Narcissists can't read between the lines. They can't understand implied truths or subtlety, that is, they have no idea how to interpret emotional data. For this reason, NPD is particularly crippling as it forces them to rely on their own suppositions and interpretations of events, which are often flawed and wounded, to understand what is happening around them. Narcissists perceive everything as a threat. They frequently misread subtle facial expressions, and are typically biased toward interpreting facial expressions as negative. Narcissists are perpetually troubled by the feeling that everyone is looking at them. It does seem counterintuitive that adults who were once ignored as children would feel as if everyone is constantly looking at them, but that's where their childhood caregivers' focus on superficial approval and material wealth comes into play. Narcissists as children were ignored emotionally, but their physical appearance and performance was typically emphasized. This means that they learned at an early age to shelve their emotions and to step into a performative role. As adults, narcissists are striving to play the role perfectly. They want to perform the best in whatever role they find themselves in, whether that is as a parent, a professional, a family member, or a member of society. While their actual performance in those roles is highly variable since they lack the emotional component that is so necessary for success, but they may still provide every indication that they are fantastic at their roles when they feel they have an audience. Narcissists were forced to become performers at a young age, and have no concept of expressing themselves authentically, as they wouldn't know where to begin. What a narcissist does when they walk into a room is size it up. They begin a process of hyperanalyzation that they have developed to give themselves feedback about their own performance. When you are having a conversation with a narcissist, they aren't actually conversing with you, they are conversing with themselves. They are watching the cues you are providing as indicators, to see how they are doing, and to understand how they are being perceived. This is why narcissists are such notorious projectors. They have no sense of self, therefore, no one else is allowed a sense of self either. When they do feel emotion, because they do, they just don't know how to understand or process it, they immediately confuse it with the person who they are interacting with, and interpret it as their emotion. Narcissists get their feedback wires confused all the time, and often don't know what is coming from them, and what is coming from others, because they were never taught how to know the difference. Sadly, this can be extremely difficult to live with, for both them and others, as they often are quite sensitive people. Narcissists always feel like they are missing something. There is a constant massive void that they struggle to fill, through achievement and performance, and in many cases, through fitness, religion, health programs, their children, their appearance, and their social circles and reputation. Narcissists are most definitely missing something, but it's not something that can be given to them by the outside world. What they are really missing is their sense of self. As a result, the inner world of an individual with narcissistic personality disorder is chaotic, stressful, and anxiety-ridden. While an individual with NPD may present themselves as charismatic and charming, this image deteriorates rapidly the closer you are to their inner circle, where spouses and immediate family often bear the painful consequences of their real behavior, unless they too are narcissists. For this reason, usually only immediate family and friends can spot a narcissist since their act is simply too foolproof for the outside world to notice. And narcissists don't believe in bad karma as they truly believe that they are somehow exempt from it, and it's pretty easy to understand why, because they don't believe in a higher power, and this is because they perceive themselves as the highest power. The inverted power pyramid of a narcissist looks something like this, with them at the top of the power structure, and God, source or creation, and everyone else at the bottom. This belief empowers them to create their own rules. Their lack of conscience wiring, unfortunately, means that everyone and everything exists to serve their false self, the ego. Their God complex is like ego on steroids. This is the unvarnished truth about how narcissists see themselves, how they feel, and how they will behave. So I hope you've gained understanding and clarity regarding the inner workings and prevailing thought patterns in the mind of a narcissist. Despite the appearances and the facade that narcissists display to the world outside, it's crucial to recognize the genuine internal distress that narcissists endure on a daily basis, although it does appear to be on the contrary. Sadly enough, but a narcissist's life is marked by constant paranoia, chronic stress, and often an addiction to drama or dramatic situations. However, compassion is not a reason to remain in close quarters with an abuser. Being someone's punching bag will never help them heal, it will only create more wounds in both of you. The most loving thing you can do for a narcissist, and yourself, is to remove yourself from their life. To narcissists, We are all just pawns in their big twisted game of manipulation, and there isn't a thing you can do to fix them. So move along and you will save yourself from a world of pain and disappointments. So, I hope this helps you. If it has, please consider sharing and subscribing to my channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Always feel free to share your experiences in the comment section below. I express my gratitude to everyone for tuning in and watching. Let us help spread the awareness and lead healthier and fulfilling lives.